Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another edition of the only live Monday through Friday lacrosse talk show on the planet. This is Daily Dive, and I'm your host, Michael Karvelis. It is Tuesday, January 20th, 2026, and this show begins now. We are live streaming via the airwaves of North American Talk Radio on YouTube, and we appreciate you for subscribing before you leave today's episode. On today's awesome show, we're going to get into Rule 67.16, the acting as a goalie in the crease rule. Is that a good rule? And if it's not, why? And is there a way to fix it? We'll also get to my Coach of the Year leaders and my award races after Week 8. And finally, fresh fits, including some awesome, and I mean awesome outfits in a broadcaster battle that was very, very, very tough to figure out. Before we get started, head over and get yourself some NLL merch. Head to natalkradio.us/NLL and you can find hoodies like this Toronto Rock hoodie. Player name shirts the NLL has released. It is a soft launch, and they have not announced the whole thing yet, but this is officially licensed gear. Again, stuff like this, shirts like that. We've got Jeff Teat, Dane, Josh, all kind of great players on there. But again, natalkradio.us/NLL, over 200 people have clicked that link, and we appreciate you. Hey, if they're not going to announce it, why as well take advantage, right? My goodness. It's legal. We're fine. All right, so let's get into Rule 67.16. I remember watching the movie Monsters, Inc., and it's like 2319. And it was sock or something from the kids' room on the monster's back or something. It was funny. That's just every time I hear like a code, that's where my 90s brain goes to. Anyways, I thought that we'd talk about this because there's obviously some debate. I know Scott Loeffler has been on one about it. He's one of the ones that says, well, it's worded wrong. We're like, okay, first of all, what is it and why is it a problem right now? Okay. What is it? Some, like myself, have called it the Buffalo Bandits rule, where a guy like, let's say, a Paul Dawson or someone else on the back end is standing in front of the goalie inside the crease trying to block a shot. And see, at that point, it's funny because I actually feel like that's when the goalie's pads are too big. As a new fan who loves the precision of the offense, if you're going to add 2 or 3 more guys right there, what's the point of the goalie having gigantic pads? It makes no sense at that point. And the goal is smaller than a field lacrosse goal. And by the way, I love that it is. Again, the shots we see are so stinking great. It's impossible for the common man to just walk up there and start shooting and making it. You have training and athleticism, etc. All of that goes into it. So I say all that because I do like the idea, as a newer fan of this 4th year, a fan of this sport who's not traditional good old boy lacrosse guy. I like the idea of, hey, why not just let the goalie do his thing and stand right in front of the crease? How's that? Like, that can't be too bad. And the problem is, when Brett Thru and maybe others had talked about it after the rule was leaked, I did leak it early, and then they finalized it, so it was no big deal. But after the rule got leaked, they were saying something about safety. That was the first red flag. Because at that moment, all of a sudden, it's like, well, other players block shots and they're still allowed to do it. So it's like, yeah, I get how that was suddenly an issue. But then after we talk about the safety of it all, then the way they worded it was just not very smart. Because now anybody who's a traditionalist in this league, who is stuck in their ways, and I get it, nostalgia is a bitch. I understand that. But now all these old lacrosse heads are saying, well, if you word it this way, does that mean this, that, and the third? Okay. So why is this suddenly an issue once again? I don't know if you saw, folks, but at the end of the Rochester game, they hosted the Toronto Rock in front of only less than 4,000 people, which is unfortunate. But they hosted the Rock, and late in that game, like the final minutes or minute and a half, a player clearly is in the crease and blocks a shot. And at that moment, based on the rule, that was as black and white as it gets. Like, there was no wording issue. Anyone who claims there is lying to themselves and trying just to be an a-hole on purpose. Like, at this point, I'm almost sick of people. I don't want to say sick of Scott Loeffler. I'm sick of this conversation because so many people are being dishonest. Oh, well, he lifted his body. Guys, just honestly shut up. Like, respectfully shut up. We cannot do the nitpicking of the English language when it's very clear what happened. That should have been a power play based on the rule because it's delay of game. Now, we're going to get to that in a moment about the power play thing. Because within 30 seconds, like I believe within 10 seconds this happened, Rochester had a chance to tie again. And if they had called this one, it would have been by rule a penalty shot. Now, I'm selfish as a fan of sports, and I knew that Rochester had blown the lead. And believe me, they are the first ones to admit that. I'm saying fans were robbed of a potential game-tying goal with time expired. Like, can you imagine Rochester or any good team blows a lead, the other team commits a penalty, and the penalty shot might send us a sudden death overtime? How is that not cool? So not only did the refs rob us of a good rule call, they robbed us of a great ending. And that's what sucks. Now, again, I am not one of those people that says, oh, the refs are the reason. Like, unlike the moron in Vancouver who throws popcorn on the turf like an idiot, I'm not going to sit there and get all up in arms. Because after the game is over, it happened. Like, it's one of a million things that happened, and your team lost. Like, suck it up, man. Honestly, like, I love that, like, honestly, like, Joe Burrow gets on social media and says, why are we arguing about the rule book? Like, I agree with him. Like, watch the replay objectively. I agree with him. Same thing with other sports, including the NLL. But now we have to get to the other part of this. I already mentioned the first part, which is all of these old people, or people over 35, I should say, are saying, oh, well, the way it's worded, and technically, like, no. I'm pretty sure, like, as a newer fan, I think you guys are full of it, honestly. You know, I say newer fan again because I'm in my fourth year watching this. I've been doing a daily show. I've watched it a bunch, but I'm not like a traditional lacrosse fan. So I understand there's some stuck in our ways crap going on here. But what are we doing? Like, who cares how it was when you were a kid? Like, honestly, suck it up. I'm not worried about that. I do think they're going to word it specifically. And obviously, the stinking refs, and I think Ryan Fowler's crew was the ones who didn't call this. Yes, I think the refs obviously need to have a beat into their head. Because if one thing refs are going to do is not pay attention to a rule. It's funny because the same guys who won't even check their microphone before the game starts, yeah, we expect them to call that crazy call. I guess it doesn't make sense. So once we train these people, and I do think the NLL is partly responsible for this, because obviously They don't talk, they don't communicate with the refs. And anybody who comes on this show or texts me and says, yes, they do, you don't believe that. There's no way you do. Because if they had actually trained these guys, and don't just say, I get these guys have other jobs. Newsflash, everyone in the league has a new job, another job. But don't sit there and tell me that these guys cannot be trained. That's just wrong. The replay system has been 50-50. It's been awful. Like, that does not speed up the process. Half the time it does. Half the time these guys are lost puppies. Again, I mentioned the fact earlier, they can't even turn their microphone on or test the freaking thing before the game starts. So they're rightfully jeered. And now you add this new rule, which obviously the NLL did not communicate with them, or else that thing in Rochester does not happen. Now I'm going to get to the part that's not as angry, but rather, how do we fix it? I believe that Pat Gregoire mentioned something, and Hutton Jackson echoed it as well, about 3 seconds in the crease. I love that until I don't. Because if we think this new rule is so hard to word that morons go, what if he's in the air? Guys, I don't know. I just feel like if you're in the crease, acting as a goalie, it should be self-explanatory. Unfortunately, a bunch of old heads have made sure it's not. So I cannot then expect the referees, after blowing that twice in Rochester, I don't think they're going to make the 3, even 5 seconds. I can't trust these guys to make that decision at this point. I should be able to, but a bunch of traditionalists are going to say, whoa, how do you know it's 5 seconds? Oh, everyone's gonna moan and complain. And I hate it, believe me, I hate it when professionals and fans make it about the refs instead of the game that happened. Again, Rochester blew a lead, and believe me, they are the first ones to admit that. But I can't trust the refs. I can't trust the old lacrosse heads. So I love 3 or 5 seconds in the crease. I just don't know if it's going to happen. I don't know if that's even smart enough. So I also like what Pat said on the show yesterday about maybe we just have a 30-second reset, and then if it is in the last minute or two, we do the power play thing. I don't know. But again, a couple of things happening here is, number one, fans and old traditionalists who think that they know everything. Because I told you guys this before, and it bugs me. Believe me, it irks and I know we're getting comments. It bugs me. But my thing is, how many times have fans, and social media is part of this problem too, if your team loses, 99.9% of the time, the refs are a coping mechanism for you. I don't know where we started this, they all stink and the game is rigged. You think the NLL cares? You honestly think that? I don't think they do. I don't think, if they can't even call things, why do I think they're smart enough to do that? It's just a dumb argument to make. So that's first off. Second off, I just wish when we have a new rule that's obviously in place because teams made it work and it was an unfair advantage. If a player cannot, or an offense cannot even touch the goalie, or when he dives cannot even touch the crease, then your defenders, with the goalie padded up to high heaven, should not be able to stand there as an extra goalie. That's just stupid. So to wrap this all up, and I'll get to the comments on the other side, I just wish we would stop blaming referees and that this rule was not as debatable. Because we all know half these people are being dishonest. It's either the Buffalo fans who are butthurt, or it's the traditionalists who think the game should never change. And if you're thinking, again, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. If a guy is in the crease and jumps up to block it, I think that's a major issue. I don't think a defender should touch the crease, if I'm being honest with you. Like, if I had it my way, I think defenders should leave the crease alone and try to toe that line. But we got to stop acting like And again, there are ways to reword it. I get that. There are ways to make it to where it's not a power play every time. But we have got to stop back to like, this is not a smart rule. It's a fair rule. And again, I'll say it one more time. I'm fine with them rewording it. I'm fine with them making it, a reset of the shot clock, and then maybe the last 2 minutes have a little bit more penalty there. But I think it's a good rule. But the referee talk has got to stop. Because as angry as I was at this, the Rochester Nighthawks blew a lead. As mad as I was that I didn't get to see what happened, like to see the penalty shots, the Rochester Nighthawks blew a lead, and that's what happened. So, again, I'll get to the comments on the other side. We appreciate you. There's 7 of them I have not read. I just wanted to focus on that because there's so many things you have to add in there. But I love the conversation. I just think that we have to find some common ground here because I do think it's ultimately a good rule if it's worded, if we understand it correctly, which, again, it should be. Like, pass interference in the NFL is like a weird subjective thing. Fouls in the NBA can be the same way. But to me, it's like, you're in the crease, you block a shot. I don't know what else to tell you. That's what it is. The comments on the other side. You're watching Daily Dive. We'll be right back. Thank you so much. Yeah, you get it. I need to write down these outros.
You're listening to North American Talk Radio, the all-new talk radio station featuring sports, movies, politics, mental health, and more. Check us out at natalkradio.com and subscribe today. Buy event tickets straight from our website to help the cause and get tickets to your favorite events for less. That's natalkradio.com. Thanks for listening.
BetUS and North American Talk Radio have partnered to bring you the preferred betting platform in the United States, and you will get a deposit bonus of up to 150% if you use promo code 120Z. Take it from me, I'm a cowboy and a gambler. I wrangle my bets on BetUS, and I use the promo code 120Z to get free money. Yee-haw! That's BetUS and promo code 120Z. Now giddy up.
Welcome back to Daily Dive, the only live Monday through Friday lacrosse talks on the planet. I'm your host, Michael Karvelis. It is Tuesday, January 20th, 2026. You can get NLL merchandise at natalkradio.us/NLL. This comes straight from the NLL. They have soft launched something here, and why not jump on it? I feel like they're going to add more stuff to it, which is why they haven't made a huge announcement, but I'm very happy. It is available considering the fact that there was not much available in Edmonton, which was a little bit odd, but it is what it is. I just talked about the Rule 67 points, Rules 2319 about it, but yeah. So I had fun with that. We're gonna get to the comments here shortly. This segment, I'm gonna get to NLL Coach of the Year. I've got a top 4, and we'll revisit this after week 12. By the way, MVP is next week. And coming up later, Fresh Fits. Stay tuned for the awesome outfits this week. Comments from the first segments. All these old... Well, I mean, I'm 29. I feel like there's a bunch of people who are like 35 or 40 and up are just like, they're so used to like the 80s or 90s NBA and back when you could blast an NFL wide receiver or kill a quarterback. Like, the same people are like, oh, well, what a dumb rule. It's like, God, when are we allowed to move on? That's what, like, when are we actually allowed to make things better? I don't get it sometimes. And I do think some things you see, but like this rule is a good rule. I don't think people are defending the rule. Well, but again, like, part of the reason they're defending it, in my opinion, and saying it's poorly written, is because they're being selfish, or they're acting like they like it. But it's like, again, the English to me is pretty clear. Like, if you're a casual fan of this sport, I don't care about what a lacrosse expert. I get it, you kind of have to be, but it's like, if a guy is in the crease acting as a goalie, I don't know how much better you can word that. Like, I just feel like it's people being pissed off because they don't like the rule. I don't think they do. And I don't think the NLL helped themselves by saying it was all safety. I get that. But like, we can't act like, well, the English, what do you mean, bro? Like, you're either in the crease or you're not. Like, I don't know what else to tell these people. I guess that makes me a dinosaur. Wow. Well, I'm fighting the dinosaurs too, and they're also like young at heart people, but it's just like lacrosse traditionalists or sports traditionalists. Like, when are we ever going to move on? Yeah, I was wondering about that 30 seconds of the key thing. And again, like, I like this, like 30-second resets, instead of like the whole every time it happens as a power play. I actually think this is the best idea, is the 30-second reset. And I do think sometimes you can let it slide, but it's kind of like, at what point are we going to be okay that it's an actual rule? And then, within a minute or 30 seconds, I actually don't mind a penalty shot. Like, that would be kind of cool, but you also don't want to make things too crazy. Yeah, so it looks like we're only kind of, at least all the three of us are on the same page here. Oh, I like that too. There you go. If the guy's 40 years old, we're here to my old people. I like that. It's good stuff. All right, moving on. Let's get to my Coach of the Year standings. Now, next week, I'm going back to my MVP conversation. This week, we're doing Coach of the Year. The next time we will revisit Coach of the Year, it will be after week 12. Let me confirm that. Yes, so Coach will be week 12. And then, like I said, next week, we're doing MVP. And we'll reset it back to goalie. All right, so here it is. I feel good about this, honestly. So let me explain my reasoning here. Again, I've got number 1, Ed Cuomo of the Georgia Swarm. I've got Pat Coyle of the Colorado Mammoth at 2. Give me Dan McRae at 3. And number 4 is the 1-2 punch of Jimmy Quinlan and Derek Keenan. So let's first get to the number 4, go 4-1 here. So I said it last year, and people don't like this, but it has to be said. When you are co-coaching with someone else, even if one guy's getting most of the reins here, I think that matters. And if they have changed that, let me know, because NLLstats.com said they didn't. But I think that being co-coaches, and I'm not saying they're bad because they're number 4 on my list, but I feel like the Batman and Robin thing, I don't like that. If you're going to win an award, I think that does stunt you. But what have they done? Last season they came in with a 13-5 record. This season they're 6-1, including 4-0 at home. They're first in goals scored. The Rush are first in loose balls. And their key win is they swept Halifax. And Halifax is no pushover, even though now it looks like they are, kind of. But like, it looks like right now, sweeping Halifax is still a very important 2 wins there. But again, 4-0 at home. They're doing all the right things, but I think I don't really care for the fact there's Batman and Robin on the bench. I wish there was just one guy. Number 3, Ottawa Black Bears, Dan McRae. He obviously is a new coach, and that is a big deal. The Black Bears are 4-3 this year. They are second in goals scored and first in caused turnovers. In fact, let me see what they were last year, if that's even available. So again, they're second in goals scored this year. In 2025, they were all the way down at 14th with Jeff Teat. So far, it's a 14-2 jump, not too shabby. And caused turnovers, they were 11th. So jumping from 14-2 and then 11 to 1, pretty big deal in my opinion. Obviously, Callum Jones helps that. And the Black Bears have 2 of the most impressive wins all year versus the Rush at the Bandits. But also, I'm wondering if Dan McCray is more of a GM of the year on my list. Maybe next time I do coach, I may plug in GM at this point. Well, I'll do that starting after week 12 when we revisit this. How about that? But I think Dan McCray's safe at 3. He's a top 3 coach of the year right now, regardless. Number 2, Pat Coyle. The team lost Connor Robinson and Connor Kelly, which were 127 points, by the way. Jack Hanna did not come in until game 4 or something like that. They've had injuries to Andrew Q. Ryan Lee is now out for the year, which means this could go even further for Pat Coyle. So far this year, they're 4-2 despite all that, including 3-1 on the road. Did you know the Colorado Mammoth are now the second youngest team in the NLL? That's a big deal, in my opinion. They're 3rd in goals against. Obviously, a lot of that is Dylan Ward. And their key wins at Vancouver to start the year, when everybody loved Vancouver, including myself, and then versus Rochester when they beat the Nighthawks down, when the Nighthawks were 2-0, and they were the talk of the town. Pat Coyle's doing great with all the lineup changes, but it might not be as impressive as Ed Cuomo. Cuomo, his team is 3-3. They are the 3rd youngest team, and if you like threes even more, they're 3rd in goals against. And again, that might be because of the fact that they have Brett Dobson, just like Pat Coyle and the Mammoth have Dylan Ward. But their key win is actually at Colorado. And I was just saying, well, Pat Coyle won at Georgia. Yeah, but Ed Cuomo, 12-3 at Colorado was more impressive, in my opinion. And then you look at the Georgia Swarm's roster right now. Lyle and Shane Jackson are back to leading the team in points, but Nolan Byrne, Michael Grace, Ben Trumbull, Carter Page, Keen Moon, all these guys, Liam McGraw, have all been amazing rookies. So Ed Cuomo's having to deal with the fact that Lyle had a very cold start. The fact that they haven't scored a lot. The fact that their offense, all these moving parts, I think that matters. Oh, and they did lose Andrew Q, and Connor Kelly has not played for them. So Georgia, in what looks like a kind of a rebuilding year, is still 3-3 and holding their own. So I think Ed Cuomo's my coach of the year, but I think Pat Coyle is right there based on the lineup changes. And Dan McCray, because of the improvements year to year, it's not just Rob Hellier. It's a lot more than that stuff. Even though Rob Hellier might be the move of the offseason so far. We thought Curtis Dixon, all this other stuff, Jack Hanna, for crying out loud. It looks like, unless Jack Hanna explodes, the Rob Hellier move is up there with one of the best moves of the season of the offseason so far. So check that out. Again, Cuomo, Coyle, McCray, and then the 2-man punch of Quinlan and Keenan. That graphic will be posted later. Speaking of graphics, I do have the reels and graphics ready for Greggy's Grinder and Mike's Lunchbox. Those will be posted first today, and then I'll get to the coach of the year. But yeah, just so you guys know. All right, when we come back to the show, you don't want to miss Fresh Fits. Believe me, there is a lot of haymakers at the end of this thing, including a broadcaster battle that I was honestly, I was shocked I was so close. We'll see who ended up getting that nod. We come back. You're watching Daily Dive. Don't go anywhere. The hottest segment is up next. That's weird.
You're listening to North American Talk Radio, the all-new talk radio station featuring sports, movies, politics, mental health, and more. Check us out at natalkradio.com and subscribe today. Buy event tickets straight from our website to help the cause and get tickets to your favorite events for less. That's natalkradio.com. Thanks for listening.
BetUS and North American Talk Radio have partnered to bring you the preferred betting platform in the United States, and you will get a deposit bonus of up to 150% if you use promo code 120Z. Take it from me, I'm a cowboy and a gambler. I wrangle my bets on BetUS, and I use the promo code 120Z to get free money. Yee-haw! That's BetUS and promo code 120Z. Now giddy up.
Welcome back to Daily Dive. We have a comment here, a little bit of updates. I know I said yesterday, after Lacrosse Classified reported the trade for Stephen Orleman to the Rock, I said that Rose was hurt for multiple weeks. Loose Mesh said Rose told Isle Indoor, definitely got lucky on that play and avoided a major one, but we'll need some time to get fully healthy over the next little bit in terms of how much I'll miss. Hoping it's on the shorter side, we'll see. Wow, so it's crazy. Remember that play for Toronto against Rochester? Troy Holochuk came in and did very well, but Nick Rose, Brad Cree pushes a player into him, and then Rose kind of falls back and may have sprained or hyperextended that thing. He's a bigger guy, and it was dent really weirdly. Seemed to walk all fine. May have just been adrenaline, but good for him. I know those sprains can be a pain in the butt. Wow, that is wild. So maybe he had an MRI. That's interesting. He has not received a diagnosis, but yeah, that is rough stuff. Get well soon, Nick. Rosie's been playing really well this year, by the way. I know he takes a lot of flack, but he's been playing very well. All right, so earlier in the show, we talked about Rule 67.16, my thoughts on that. And I think there is a lot of lacrosse traditionalist stuff going on. I think that we should re-examine the rule and reword it a little bit to please people. And I do like the idea of just giving a reset of a shot clock. And then if it's within the last 2 minutes or even 30 seconds, I say the last 2 minutes, personally, we do a penalty shot or a power play type deal. So that's my take on that. Even though I don't blame refs for losses. I don't throw popcorn onto the field. That was in Vancouver, not Rochester, but you get it regardless. Oh, and Rochester blew a lead. That also works. Here is my coach of the year. I had Ed Cuomo, Pat Coyle 2, Dan McRae 3, and Quinlan and Keenan at 4. Now it's time to get to the hottest segment in probably all of NLL all of NLL media. It's time for Fresh Fix. Before we do that, head to our shop, dailydivelacks.creator-spring.com. You can also check that from the Instagram bio, and you'll see it littered across Twitter as well. If you wear this shirt, you might actually win Fresh Fix every week. And also, merchandise from the NLL. They have soft launched merchandise. You've got hoodies from the teams, player player name shirts like this one from Del Bianco, Jeff T, Josh Byrne, etc. You also have hoodies and even a t-shirt collection known as Fast Break, natalkradio.us/the NLL. Alrighty, folks, I hope you're ready for this one. It's going to be smoking. Kind of like the whenever you see the mask. Yeah. So let's get to the Philadelphia Wings. Couple of guys to choose from here. Brandon O'Neill looking spiffy. This guy is as well. But Isaiah Davis-Allen now with multiple wins for the Philadelphia Wings. And by the way, why is it that the Wings are hell-bent on not giving us good pictures here? Because again, Fresh Fits is geared towards rewarding the players and the social media teams, as you'll see later. And I think that matters. Like, that's part of the reason why we do this thing. I have also not seen Joe Resetarits. It's not acceptable, man. Two-time Wings representative in the Fresh Fits bracket, man. Come on. Next up. Again, Halifax hates me this year. It's fine. Mackie Jenner, I get it. Clark Peterson, though, very tired. Very tired. Maybe that's why they lost to Colorado. I'm kidding. Good looks there. Nothing special. I also didn't see Tyson Bell this week. It is what it is. Connor Knock wins it for the Mammoth. A lot of blue this week for Colorado and Halifax, but the stripe tie, that'll do. Even if it's from Walmart, I don't think that one is, but the stripe ties always work, man. So nice way to accent the blue, the light blue shirt, and then like the navy jacket. It's really good looks for him. Ari Steenhouse, who I believe has got family or a father or someone who used to play in the NLL. Steenhouse, obviously. Good looks. This reminds me, he is now in that whole family tree of Elijah Gash, Taylor Jensen, and Josh Byrne. The broccoli heads, even though Josh Byrne's not a broccoli head right now, the guys who are broccoli heads, the good-looking, like, kind of mixed dudes who can make anything look good. They usually like to throw on the headphones as well. I think he's part of like that family tree. He's part of our Fresh Fits. What is that one thing called? Not 23andMe. If we did an ancestry and Fresh Fits partnership, this thing going on with these broccoli head mixed guys or whatever. I'm sorry if that offends you. I'm actually not. It just sounds good when I say it. Oh, wow! Jake Naso, first-time winner for the Rush here. Friend of the program, and I'll admit here, this is what did it. This suit, this combo, the buttons are nicely colored. The suit is nice little stuff here. I like the fact you can pop this is a shirt. I don't even know if it has a button up top. Okay, it looks like you can, but this shirt, you don't have to wear a tie. It's like meant to like pop it. I like that. Good looks by Jake Naso. Levi Anderson had a really nice icy blue suit. I went with Jake Naso. I like that part right there. It spoke to me, man. Next up, Chuck. Listen, man, I'm tired of it. I'm just tired of it. Can he not look good for one walking? Just for one. I have never seen Josh Byrne called out of place. It's almost like he will make sure, like Josh Byrne's the type of guy to go up to the Buffalo Bills photographer and say, hey, I'm going to make sure. Okay, I'm going to run it back. Like that, it's insanity. Like, what am I supposed to do with this? Nice necklace, beautiful maroon suit, pop in the color because like 2 or 3 buttons down because I'm freaking Josh Byrne. I'm not jealous. I'm not jealous, man. Let's regather myself here. All right. Wow. Okay, so I want to let me bring this down here. I don't want to give too much away here. So yeah, these next 3 are going to be really freaking awesome. There's some country night for Vancouver. They all were kind of similar. A Wrangler and Course. Yeah, Curtis Nation knows what he's doing. The nice flannel t-shirts. I mean, bam! Like discount double check. If I was like standing up, Anchorman, like you, bam! I need to invest in a belt with a great buckle. The only problem with that is it might like my Dunlap disease, if you know what that is. It might like overlap like the buckle, like might kind of I'm sitting down and might stab me. First world problems, honestly. But yeah. Oh, and V-Gain, welcome back. You're welcome, folks. We're just gonna do and Surge. And Surge. So what else you got here? Random paperwork. That's fine, though. All right, so anything else? Oh, Coors and Wrangler, my God. Someone's going to pay me eventually, man. What? Woo-wee! Again, not familiar with indigenous culture a lot, but can appreciate. I don't know what the occasion was because no one else was wearing stuff like this. So Jeremy Thompson, I don't know what this is called. I love it. I also told you guys I'm a sucker for colors. Like, if you're going to walk in with that, everyone else might as well be naked, for crying out loud. Like, there's no reason, or they should just all wear a white t-shirt and blue jeans. Because this right here will win every single time. Shout out Jimmy Thompson. Yeah, so we're going to start off with Brett Dobson. Good looks. Nice H. I don't know what brand that is. Nice winter coat. They were in Edmonton. But what is this? From what is this? Wait a minute. What? What? They are buying into the brand, folks. This is a big moment for Fresh Fits, and we appreciate the Jordan Swarm for that. I usually use like the sweating hot red emoji face, but we're gonna work on it. And also, Fresh Fits is all capitals for no reason. I haven't even trademarked. Oh gosh, I shouldn't have said that out loud. But I mean, come on, folks. Thank you, Jordan Swarm. Oh, and also, the broadcaster liked the post, as did Brett. Brett Dobson liked in Kylie. She used to do NLL stuff. There you go. Good stuff there. You never know when you're going to get name dropped on this show. It's incredible. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, the following was very difficult for me. There were broadcasters who really dressed well this weekend. Once again, John Fraser, for whatever reason, got away with absolutely no tie. And not even just no tie, pop in the collar. But we respect it. He was not one of the winners, by the way. We had Ben Wilson, who was broadcasting the Desert Dogs game. I don't know where AJ Cannell is, but it was Ben Wilson. He did a great job. We had a look by Pete Dalladay, looked very snappy, and Mackie Jenner was once again in the booth. But none could compare to the next two people. No, I'm sorry, Jake Elliott. No, that's not it. As much as I harp, and we are not cousins, by the way, nor does he want me to say that, because he probably will disown me, Tino Farah. Great job on everything he does, by the way. But that being said, I kind of like the turtleneck. I don't know what I like this look. How is this wrong? I know what John Fraser does is interesting. And maybe other broadcasters need to get on. Apparently, maybe Tino Farah, goes like, "Hey, John, like, how do you get away with that? Like, is that okay?" And then, like, he says, "Yeah, just tell him you're going to do it." And like balls to the, like, let's freak that, do it. Forget them. And Tino Farah says, "You're right." I mean, his inner Eric Fennell came out. But was it enough to top, sorry, Teddy, Pat Gregoire with the brown pinstripe suit, the light blue shirts with the light blue pinstripes? Was the turtleneck enough? No. Pat Gregoire, I keep telling folks, it's not because he comes on the show. He genuinely is outdressing these other guys. And that sounds weird when you say that out loud, but it's the thought that matters here. And Teddy, I saw that look in the NLL finals. You are not going to make me look silly here. Maybe it is a new suit, but I remember I did a Chat GPT Pixar of you in a very similar, what are we doing, Tyson Bell? You can't wear it 10 times, even though it is nice. Believe me. You can't wear it 10 times and expect to win every time. Pat Gregoire, oh my goodness, sir. We are not worthy. I know people don't like that segment sometimes. I don't care. I genuinely have fun with that segment. And if the teams are going to start using the fresh fit lingo, we're going to keep on doing it, okay? Reminder, at the end of the year, the guys who have the most nominations for their teams are going to be in a bracket where you, the fans, will vote on the winner of the fresh fits. The broadcast will just be named regardless. Pat Gregoire is the winner. And the first 2 seasons of the players, Joe Rez and then Taylor Jensen won it. So, you fans, have at it when all is said and done. But we still have a long ways to go before that point. Subscribe to North American Talk Radio. We thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys, I hope you guys watched the national championship game because that was pretty fun last night for college football. Yeah, you're welcome, Pat. Right? I mean, who else was it going to be? Like, I don't know. Jake Elliott did have a nice green suit in the Vegas game, but it wasn't good enough, man. The turtleneck or Pat Gregoire. I'm usually a sucker for unique looks, but Pat Gregoire, the pinstripes were also sky blue, like that was the finishing touch for me. All right, folks, we'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. I'll have power rankings and more tomorrow. This has been another fun episode of Daily Dive. Bye.